If you have been thinking about starting a side project or adding an additional stream of income, getting started with something outside of your 9 to 5, but you are procrastinating around it, you have doubt around it because you feel like it may negatively impact your performance at your 9 to 5, your focus at your 9 to 5, then I want you to lean into today's episode. I recently had an experience that reminded me why the opposite is true, why having a side project, business, hustle, however you want to call it, is actually going to help you to perform better in your 9 to 5 and become a sought after employee. So if that is interesting to you, I want you to grab your notebook and your pen as I dive in and break this down. Welcome to the Career Changemaker podcast. Do you want clear direction about your next chapter, but find yourself overthinking every move and worrying about getting it wrong? If so, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Janine Esbrand, corporate lawyer turned career coach, keynote speaker, and mother of 2. And I've discovered how to gain real career clarity and build an impactful career on my terms without sacrificing security or burning out. If you're ready for aligned career options, confident decisions, and work that protects your peace, close that comparison tab on LinkedIn, grab your notebook, and let's dive in. Before we dig into today's episode, I want to ask a question. Have you joined our email community? This is the place where I will send weekly emails and be giving you insights behind the scenes, giving you nuggets that are going to be helpful as you are navigating your career transition. We have some exciting things coming up, and the people who are in our email community find out about them first. So head over to the link in the show notes, and I look forward to seeing your name pop up inside of our email community. I've recently been doing some legal consulting work, and I've been working with an organization delivering commercial legal support, and they asked me if I could get involved in some legal ops work. And legal ops is essentially where we look at the legal operations to make sure that the system that sits around legal giving support to the business is working and it's working well. So I was tasked with looking at how we currently interact with the business and get instruction from various people within it to support them on the legal side of things. And this isn't something that I generally do. And as I was approaching the task and thinking about what it is that they needed to achieve and how I could best go about achieving it, I was able to draw on a lot of the experience that I have developed as a business owner. So as a business owner, you wear lots of hats. You wear the marketing hat, you wear the delivery hat, you wear the finance hat. And I've been in the weeds of my business, building out various different systems, having to figure out how automations can fit together, how things can be streamlined. And so when I was approaching this task, I had all of that in mind. And I was able to come up with a ticketing system for them so that rather than having instructions coming from various places, there is now one place where all inquiries are directed. And then we have a whole process as to how they get managed. And there's analytics that can come from that. There's just a lot that I've been able to pull together and create. And the team is really happy. The team is really grateful. And they were saying how amazing this is. And I'm not sharing this to say, oh, I built this amazing system. It's more to share with you the fact that the insight, the knowledge, the skills that I developed inside of my business, I was able to bring into this particular role, this particular project, and add an immense amount of value in a short space of time. I want you to be thinking about the opportunity that is there when it comes to you building something on the side and having the new skills, having the new insight, having the new perspective that you're able to bring to your 9 to 5 and make the type of difference that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to make. And so when you are thinking about making a transition from having all of your focus in your 9 to 5 to doing some other things on the side, one of the biggest areas of hesitation can be, well, will I be able to do all of these things? Will I be able to focus in all of these areas? And will I be so distracted from my 9 to 5 that my performance isn't as good, or that my employer perceives that I am not as focused, or that I am not going to be bringing the same amount of value. And what I have seen, not only in my experience, but in the experience of clients that I've worked with, is you taking the time to look at things outside of your 9 to 5. It allows you to broaden your perspective, and it allows you to look at things differently. And you become the type of person who is adding more value, not because you're trying, but just because you have more to give. On this episode, I want to break down 3 different reasons why building something on the side is going to bring value to your 9 to 5. Okay. So number 1 is, as you start to explore and build something from nothing, you are going to be developing a skill set that you didn't have before. So if you think about the fact that the company that you work for right now, any organization that you've worked for, there is a structure that is in place that you operate within. That structure has been built by someone, whether that was the startup founder that started a few years ago, or whether that was the founders of the business that started 100 years ago. There was someone that came up with the plan, the mission, the vision for this organization, and then they took action to bring it to life. All of the things that they would have done to go from where they started to now will have developed them as individuals, right? They will have had to deal with various mindset challenges, as well as learning various tactical things in order for them to bring something out of nothing. So you going on an endeavor to build on the side, and it doesn't have to be a big project. You don't have to have a vision to build a massive business. It may be that you just want to have an additional stream of income and a way for you to channel your energy in a different direction. That in and of itself, that process of you sitting down and figuring out what it is you're going to start building, and you pouring energy and focus into that, is going to mean that you are going to be building some skills that are going to be helpful in your 9 to 5. Those skills could look like resilience. Those skills could look like you having more of a strategic perspective. It could look like you being more aware and mindful of what is going on in the market, because you are looking at things beyond your day to day. When you are just focused on your role and you have your head down and you are doing what you're supposed to do and you are hitting your target, it can be very, very focused, right? You're not necessarily thinking about how what you're doing is fitting within the bigger picture of the organization or of your industry. You're showing up and you're doing your work and you're doing it well. As soon as you start building on the side, you are building perspective and you are building skills that can be helpful in this role. And that it might not translate straight away, but it's going to translate over time. I've heard time and time again from clients who have built on the side and they have been building out a portfolio career, that they are able to come up with solutions in a way that other people are not within their organization. They are able to see opportunities in a way that other people are not. And that's because they have given themselves the opportunity to have a training ground outside of their 9 to 5, where they can test things, where they can try things, where they can fail forward, where they can grow, and then they can bring it back. Okay, so that's the first thing. So recognize that you are giving yourself the opportunity to have another space where you get to develop yourself and be intentional about the skills and the areas that you want to grow in. The second reason why building on the side can be really helpful is because it trains your brain to think like a business owner. It trains your brain to think like a business owner. A business owner is someone who is looking at all the different pieces of the puzzle, all the different pieces of the engine that need to work together in order to get an outcome. And when you are trying to figure out how you're going to build something from nothing, you are thinking at a more strategic level. So what that means is, when you're now in your organization, you're coming with more of an entrepreneurial mindset. And, there is something called intrapreneurship, where you have people who work within organizations, but they are thinking like an entrepreneur. They are thinking like someone who wants to make sure that we're not just dealing with the problems that are right in front of us, but we are thinking ahead and we are anticipating and we are strategizing and we're in it for the long haul, right? So you starting to think like a business owner in your business is going to allow you to bring that same perspective within your team, within your organization. So the same way that when I was tasked with building out this legal ops project, my mind went straight to, okay, what are you trying to achieve and what is the best way for us to do this? And what are some of the potential pitfalls? I was thinking about all those things before I got started. If I came at this maybe 10 years ago before I was a business owner, I probably would have just been like, okay, you probably need a spreadsheet to just track everything that's coming in. And I wouldn't have thought about the other ways that we could optimize and ultimately what is going to save not only time, but focus for the team and for the organization. So that entrepreneurial mindset isn't something that you can just decide to have. It's something that has to be built. And so you building on the side is giving you an opportunity to build out a different part of your brain that is going to really help you to show up differently and in the space where you are showing up like a leader, right? You are starting to consider and think about the things that leadership already thinks about. And when you can be going into meetings and you can be talking about the types of things that are on the minds of the leaders, you will stand out. You will stand out. So if you are looking to get promoted and you are looking to grow and, take on those senior level positions, there are certain things that the C-suite are looking out for. There's certain attributes, there's certain mindsets, there's certain considerations that they are looking out for. And some people don't have it because they haven't needed to exercise it. And so you giving your opportunity to flex your leadership muscle before you are in you are in consideration for a leadership position is wonderful. So recognize that you building this on the side is setting you up for staying within corporate and climbing the ranks if that is what you're choosing to do. It's not always about building on the side so that you can leave. Sometimes it's about building on the side so that you can prepare yourself to stay and be in the running for those better opportunities in the future. And then the third reason why building on the side is going to be helpful for you in your career is that you become a sought after employee. You are going to stand out amongst the other people who you are working alongside because you are thinking more strategically, because you have a different perspective on the problems that are in front of you. And people are going to notice that. People are going to notice that and they are going to want you to be the person that is on the project. They're going to want you to be the person that is bringing your perspective because your perspective is not only different, but it is adding value. Your goal, wherever you are, is to look at what are the ways that I can add value. And you having a different mindset, a different expertise, a different set of skills that you can bring to the table where you are is helping you to add value. One of the things that I have found so useful as I've navigated my portfolio career is that I have got a unique blend of skills. So being a lawyer and also a coach and a speaker and a podcaster, there is so much that I have learned in these different seats that I sit in and under these hats that I wear that I'm able to use in different areas. I'm able to kind of, cross apply the skills that I have and the perspective that I have. And it often adds a level of value that other people wouldn't necessarily bring because they don't have that same blend of skills. And having an awareness around that allows you to position yourself for the types of opportunities that you absolutely want. So that is the third reason. So let's recap. And I hope this has helped to shift something for you if you have been feeling like, oh, I want to build on the side, but I don't know if I should because I also enjoy my work and I want to progress within the work that I'm doing, but I know that there's this niggling feeling that there's more out there for me to do. I hope you listening to this has helped you to see that doing both is going to be a value add for your organization and it isn't necessarily going to be the distraction that you're anticipating it to be, or is not necessarily going to take away from the career that you have spent all of these years building. So we're thinking about the fact that your side business is a place where you can build up skills and you can develop a mindset that's going to be helpful for you in your role. We're thinking about the fact that you're going to be training your brain to think like a business owner. And so you're able to bring an entrepreneurial spirit to the work that you do on a day-to-day basis in your role. And then thirdly, you will become a sought after employee when you're able to bring a different type of perspective and a different type of skill set to the work that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So I hope you have found that summary useful. If you did, I would love for you to go and leave a rating and review. The more reviews that we get on the show, the more people can find it, digest it, and get the support that they need when it comes to navigating their career transitions. And if you know someone, you've been having a conversation with them and they said, oh, I'd love to start something, but I don't know if it's going to impact my work, or I'm not sure if it's the right thing to do, send them this episode. Sharing is caring. Send it to them, get them to listen to it. That is what I wanted to share with you today. I will be back again very, very soon for another episode. But in the meantime, keep moving towards those career goals. All right. Bye. Hey, ambitious woman, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds to follow the show and share it with someone who may be quietly rethinking their next chapter? Also, please leave a review. It really helps this message reach more ambitious women ready for career clarity. And it lights me up to know that this podcast is helpful to you. Until next time, go and take one strategic step forward, and I'll meet you back here in a few days for another episode. Let's keep building.